Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. We're looking at 3 John verses 9 through 11. We have been introduced by John to 3 men, Gaius, Diotrephes, and Demetrius. 2 good men and 1 bad man. Well, we're going to see how John deals with this one man who has caused a lot of trouble in this local church where Gaius is a member. And actually, I believe he's given some instructions in this passage to Gaius how to deal with this man. Instructions that we could take heed to even today, as no doubt many of us have a Diotrephes in our lives, in our families, sometimes in our neighborhood, or even in our fellowship of believers. And sometimes this Diotrephes actually can even be a pastor. How sad. Well, let's look at these verses 9 through 11. And so he said, I wrote to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to have the preeminence among them, does not receive us. Therefore, if I come, I will call to mind his deeds which he does, prating against us with malicious words. And not content with that, he himself does not receive the brethren, and forbids those who wish to, putting them out of the church. Beloved, do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. He who does good is of God, but he who does evil has not seen God. Now, we're going to notice several things here about this Diotrephes. One, he is full of pride. He promotes himself constantly. He wants to have the preeminence in the church. That's how you know who a Diotrephes is. He wants the applause. He wants the recognition. He wants the position of leadership. He manipulates, and he comes first with kind, gracious, wonderful words and deeds, and kind of deceives you into thinking he's the real deal when he is a plant from the devil himself to bring division and strife and contention in the house of God. You see, no greater testimony we have than this, and that's that we love one another. John talked about that. So when someone can get in the church and business meetings and other meetings that you have become places of tension and division, you know you got a Diotrephes there who loves the preeminence. Only by pride comes contentions, Proverbs 13:10. Now, so we see that. And actually, remember Jesus, when he came, he gave us an example. Not only did he die for us and rise again the 3rd day and give his life as a substitute and bring us what real life is about in himself and in God and in his word, he gave us an example that we should walk in it. And that example was he was a servant. He girded himself with a towel. Now, today, sad thing, many pastors and evangelists gird themselves with a microphone and prance around the platform, drawing attention to themselves instead of to Jesus. How sad. And I'm afraid many others do the same thing in different ways in the church. That's a Diotrephes. And so John points out several things about this Diotrephes. One, he says he does not receive us. He would not receive the Apostle John. Can you imagine that? Not receiving the wonderful, gracious, kind, loving Apostle John. He didn't want him around. Why? Because John exposed his evil deeds. Usually these kind of people, immediately you find out when they don't like people that they should be very happy and thankful to have in the fellowship of believers, and they're causing contention with them, then we know something's wrong. And then secondly, we know it says that he lied about John. He went about, he said, look at his, he went to call to his mind his deeds that he does, prating about and against us with malicious words. He lied. He lied about John. He brought to false charges. And of course, there are people who love to hear the negative. They love to suck in the things that are gossip and such, and their ears are just waiting to hear it. And so here Diotrephes tells them, and they listen. How sad that is too. Well, that's these characteristics of a Diotrephes. Now that's 2. We have 2 more, and we'll take care of them tomorrow. And then we're going to find out how to deal with that person in verse 11. There's a wonderful way to do it. God God's way. Now listen, God bless you. You have a wonderful day, and I trust you'll keep your eyes on Jesus and don't let a Diotrephes defeat you and discourage you today. God bless. Have a wonderful day.